Hey everyone, Random Randy here. This is Yarn Talk episode 46. It is before lunch, so the boys are both running around, so they will probably be popping in at some point. And apparently they're also doing artillery right now, so you might hear booms in the background. You never really get used to it. I've had a lot of people say to me, "Oh, you won't even notice it anymore." Okay. When giant mortar rounds are shaking your house, we'll see how long you can ignore it for. And we have helicopters and planes flying overhead. It's gonna be super fun. But I wanted to get this done because it's Friday. It's the 5th, I think. I have no idea. I don't know the date anymore. At least I know that today's Friday. So I have a few things finished. I am mostly focusing on fighting my war, which are my works at rest. I have a lot of them, and my goal for this year is to finish all of the long-sitting works in progress that I currently have. I would ultimately like to have them all done by midway through the year so that everything I'm working on will be fresh, because I'm really just done with having so many things sitting that aren't getting worked on that I don't even know what they all are at this point because there are so many of them. So I've been trying to prioritize some of my older works at rest, making them active. I actually completed one, which is pretty awesome, and worked on a good chunk of another one, so that was good progress. So anyway, I'm gonna show you the few things that I have done and then show you the next thing that I'm planning on working on and a couple of other things I'm halfway through. So gonna jump right in. To start off, I have an ultra mini amigurumi octopus. Just to give you scale, this is the normal size of the octopi that I make. They are made with the same pattern, well, the same pattern but modified to have less rows. But this is what it normally looks like when I use worsted weight yarn and a 3.5mm hook. Pretty much fits in my whole hand. I took the pattern and altered it to use less rows but have a similar decrease, and ended up with this itty bitty thing. There we go, camera, you do know how to focus. Ta-da! So this is a super teeny tiny octopus, as you can tell. So if you have ever seen this pattern, which I've posted a million times, I'll be posting it again. The only thing that I did was, rather than increasing it to 30 stitches, I did my final increase to 24 stitches. Only did 3 rows of the single crochet all the way around, and then did the decreases corresponding with the stitch sizes that it was at. And that gave me this right here. Super teeny tiny, very good for using up scraps. This yarn is Bonbon print from Red Heart Super Saver. It's just some extra that I had taken out of an old hat project. And this is a Loops and Threads yarn from Michael's that was just a rainbow colored yarn. I think it was called Rainbow Bright, maybe. But yeah, itty bitty octopus, super teeny tiny. It's so cute. So small. I love it. And now it's gonna sit on top of the other one because I said. Other thing that I finished, which I guess is only a partially finished object, but it's a finished portion of an object. So I finished the first sleeve for my His and Hers outdoor sweater. So here's what the sleeve looks like, obviously not sewn together. It is just a big old panel. And this is gonna be the wrist, and this is gonna be the cap for the shoulder, which I'm super excited about. So now I only have the sleeve and the neck to finish on that sweater. I had to take a break from it because I did so much of it so fast. I just needed to do something else. And if you hear the kids squealing help in the background, I don't know if you can also hear them giggling. They're playing. They like to pretend that they're firefighters and police officers and victims that need their help quite frequently. So if one of them starts crying in earnest, I will go check on them. They're just being crazy and loud right now. They're watching Cars 3, meaning it's on the TV playing and they've got more important things to do because that's what kids do. So another thing that I finished is something that's kind of a prototype. It's done, but I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I want to post it for sale. I probably will, but so in line with my 0 loveys that I make, I thought I would try making a Jack Skellington lovey. And as you can see, his eyes are quite big. I'm not sure I like how huge his eyes turned out. He's got little arms. I thought about doing the tips of them white like his hands. And the way that the striping worked out on the square, I sewed it on so that the head is facing in a direction so it actually looks like he's wearing his suit with the white shirt down the middle. I thought it was cool the way that it striped that way. This is Red Heart Super Saver Zebra. This is just some black scraps. And the white is just Red Heart Super Saver white. So it's cute, but I don't quite know how I feel about it. I don't know. Because I looked at it and I didn't think that it really needed a mouth sewn on it the way that most of the ones that I've seen are. So I think I'll keep it this way. All right, other things. I have 2 other things done. Last time I showed this scarf/cowl that I was working on. Lord, they are loud. Anyway, so it turned out this thick. And it is quite long. I haven't measured, but it's pretty long. I ended up with about half a ball of the Harvest and about 3/4 of a ball of the Edwardian. It seemed like across the board the Edwardian had more yardage than the Harvest, and I'm not sure why. I don't know. But anyway, it is quite long. I thought about sewing it together to make it into a proper cowl, but I just decided that I wasn't about that. Not gonna do it. So it is, as you can see, there's a lot of volume here. And there's still enough here. You could tuck it in your coat, you could pin it, you could totally cover your head with it. I mean, I like it. It's very warm, and it figures now the weather's starting to get warmer, but it is still quite drizzly, and the wind here in Washington, being near as much water as we are, is pretty brutal sometimes. So I will be keeping this for me because I like it a lot. The only other thing that I have done is a long-standing work at rest, which I think the last time I showed it was maybe August of last year. I think that's also the last time I worked on it. So give me just a minute to figure out the orientation here. All right, so yeah, that's the way it goes. So this is going to be a baby blanket. I'm not quite sure what for because I'm not planning on having any more babies. No thank you. I have 2 and that is plenty for me. But this is corner to corner. This is done with an Ice Yarns miscellaneous sail yarn. But when I showed it last, it was from this corner to this marker here. And it took the entire 6 balls. Now, if I can lean back far enough to show you the way the stripes worked out. Nope, there we go. It's pretty sizable. I think it would be good for a swaddling blanket because it's not square, it's rectangular, so it's long this way, but it's short this way, so you could wrap it around and then tuck their little arms in. My kids were very much needing of swaddling when they were little because they wouldn't sleep if they could move. So it is very soft. It is all acrylic. I'm really pleased with it. I did it with an eye hook because my gauge my tension with corner to corner with an H hook. It was too tight. So those are the things that I have finished in the past week-ish. I think I posted last Friday. I don't even remember. Anyway, I'm doing this early enough in the day that this should be up probably around dinner time-ish. So I've got 2 works in progress right now. One I'm going to show you real quick because I have to figure out what I'm doing with it and do it before Hunter runs back in the room. So Hunter asked me to make him a stuffed animal based on a picture that he drew. It was a little cyclops with weird arms that kind of looked like wings. So this is the secret project for Hunter. I learned how to do waffle stitch for the body. This is obviously the head, and I'm gonna make little oval arms, and I'm just gonna do ragdoll rectangle legs for it. So this is gonna be a surprise for his birthday. So there's one. The only other thing that I am currently actively working on, which I'm probably gonna take a break from now because I did quite a bit. I went through my scrap balls and found everything small that I had and added to my scrap blanket, which I also have not showed you for a very long time because I couldn't find the bag with it because everything in here is so freaking cluttered all the time. So last time I showed you my scrap blanket, I was to here, started here, went down, oh my lord, children, all the way to this end, turned it, started back up this way, and I was up to here. So in the course of one evening, I went from here, nope, I was halfway through the red panel. So from the last time I showed it, I had gone from here to here, and then the bag got misplaced. And then in one evening of watching TV, I went from here all the way up here and decided I didn't want to do side-to-side strips like that anymore, so I turned it and did linen stitch, which if you don't know, that's you do a single crochet, you chain one, skip a stitch, single crochet into the next stitch. So I did that along here, all the way down, and then I got to a different color here. This was a tiny little ball of pink camo that took me over here for quite a substantial portion of yellow. It ended up doing an entire row and then some. And then had some Red Heart Super Saver Grape Fizz to go all the way and finish off the row. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do now. I'm kind of freeforming it really. I've got it well, I mean, this could end up being the width or the length, I suppose. But I noticed that at some point, I must not have been paying attention when I was doing the joins because I ended up with a slightly off stitch count, and I'm not sure if it's small enough that blocking will be able to fix it, but it's right in here. You can see it's a little bit wavy at the bottom. If it seems like blocking can't fix it, I'm gonna have to figure out math-wise how to subtract a few rows here and there to make it so it'll actually be flat. I'm sure I can do it, it's just gonna be a little more work than I was planning on it being. So that is my scrap blanket at current, and thanks to all of the Amazon gift bags that we got around Christmas time, it now has a bigger bag to live in, and soon it will need an even bigger bag to live in. But I've got this. In case you didn't know, if you get something gift wrapped from Amazon, this is what it comes in. It comes in one of these cool double layered organza bags with drawstrings. Look, I don't need to make fancy project bags. I just need to have people buy stuff for my kids from Amazon, and I'm set. So that is the other thing that I'm currently working on. My next long-standing work at rest that I am going to be diving into once I finish Hunter's toy is going to be the, what was it called? The dragon wing shawl that I showed 1.5 million years ago. I don't even remember how long ago it was. Probably also around August. But I'm also making this with ice yarn, with one of the chain cakes. This is what the ball looks like. It's mostly white, but it has blue, green, purple, and a little bit of kind of a coppery gold color in it, which I really like. It's also acrylic, it's worsted weight. But here's what the shawl looks like so far. It's very airy. Maybe I should show it to you the right way so that you can see the points. It's something that I'm going to hope just throwing it in the washing machine will loosen it up enough that it will properly block, because I don't really have anything to pin it to yet, and I don't really want to buy one of those giant kid floor mats to block stuff on. I'll probably have to eventually, but so this is what it's looking like now. Hi, sweetie, what's up? And I think, yeah, I'm gonna be getting into the different color changes after this one. So, and that, by the way, is a free pattern, which is translated from a German pattern. It was done by Jose Crochet, and the original pattern creator was Jasmine Rasanen. I don't speak German, so if I mispronounced it, oops. Anyway, it is a free pattern. It's pretty simple to follow once you get the row repeats down. This is what it's supposed to look like when it's done. I'm planning on using up at least one whole ball of this. I don't think I'll need to use both. We shall see how big it ends up when I am all done with the first ball, because I really want it to be as torso encompassing as possible. So that is my plan for that. Aside from that, just quick little lifey update. So in a few weeks, Adam's gonna be going away for training. So I wanted to get what dental work I needed to have done as quickly as possible before he is gone, because I know that there's no way in hell that I'd be able to go to the dentist and have my kids with me, especially with as long as this particular trip took. So I had 2 root canals done and a root planing or scaling, which, if you don't know, that's when they go through and actually clean under your gums to get the roots of your teeth clean to help your gums grow back and hopefully encourage bone growth rather than bone loss, which, if you've ever had children, you know that it is quite common for your teeth to start to deteriorate and crumble and fall apart, because your body will actually leach the calcium from your bones and your teeth to make healthy babies. You're happy now? Good deal. So that's something super fun that I've been dealing with. And from that single trip, it's funny because the dentist was like, oh, why haven't you been to the dentist in 2 years if you've been here? And I'm like, well, here's the problem. I can get 1 or 2 teeth work done, and then I have to wait a whole other year until the insurance refreshes or pay out of pocket. And if you don't know, dentistry, getting dental work done is almost a luxury in America because it is so expensive. To get 2 root canals done and the cleaning of half of my mouth, it was $1,500, which was all of the insurance for a whole year. And I had to pay $250 out of pocket to get half of my teeth cleaned. Luckily, the insurance refreshes at the beginning of May, so then I'll be able to get the crowns put on the teeth that had the root canals, so I'm gonna have to baby 2 temporary crowns until May. Which, considering that one of my teeth had been broken for about 6 months now, it probably won't really be a big deal. But it's just ridiculous that in order to be healthy and be confident enough to be able to smile and not do like I do and make a point of keeping your lips as closed over your teeth as possible. Yeah, you might not have noticed before, but now every time I do it, you're going to notice, aren't you? Anyway, I think it's ridiculous that it costs so much money because so much of your health is tied to the health of your teeth. And I've been having sinus issues for pretty much since fall started. I assumed it was just because it's wet all the time. Turns out I actually had an infection in my teeth, which I'm now taking amoxicillin for, but I didn't have any pain, so I didn't know I had an infection. But it's entirely possible that the migraines I've been having, the jaw ache, the ear ache, and the sinus issues I've been having are all tied to the fact that I have an abscess in my tooth. But they cleaned it out, taking the amoxicillin, and hopefully after taking the whole course of it for 10 days, everything will be better and maybe I'll actually feel better. One can hope, right? So I guess that is really all I have for yarny stuff for this week. I am hoping to actually do just a crochet with me video probably Monday or Tuesday, because I'm not sure how the weekend's gonna go. Adam just got done with vacation yesterday, so he worked yesterday, works today, then he'll be home for the weekend, and he's back for a full week next week. So I'm not sure how busy we're gonna be this weekend. I guess it probably depends on the weather. But the camera is almost done, so I wanted to say thank you to everybody for watching. New subscribers, returning subscribers, and I'm at nearly 630 now, and that's amazing. So thank you again so much, everybody, and I will catch you all hopefully in a couple of days, and if not, later next week. Bye.